How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. I reviewed this eufy E20 3-in-1 vacuum cleaner about 2 months ago, and I've had some time to get some good use out of it. The most common usage, at least for me, is using the handheld. I just push this button, pull this right out, let it hang on your hand. You see, it kind of points downwards at a 45-degree angle. This is so that it makes it a lot easier to vacuum anything on the surface, on the floor. This is the Dyson V13 Detect. It weighs 4.8 pounds. The eufy handheld weighs around 40% lighter. Just holding on to this is just making my arm a little bit tired, and I cannot vacuum actually for the entire battery life of this thing. 95% of the time I have tiny messes. I just have a little area that I want to vacuum up. So I find myself gravitating towards this handheld because I have both around. Just look at the size comparison on this thing. The diameter of this center cylinder is about 4.5 inches, whereas this one is only 3.5 inches. Let's try it on my car interior, and let's try the crevice tool. Ever since I got a stick vacuum, I never touch that anymore. Yes, these upright vacuums are a lot more powerful. However, you don't want to bring out a tank every single time you want to vacuum a small area. And then you have to make sure the cords do not tangle and that your vacuum does not run over the cords. So by the time you're done, you can dress yourself in a bunch of cords, winding the cord. Kind of like headphones before AirPods came out. The eufy has 3 attachments in total. The stick vacuum part, that is actually powered, and it spins these rollers with brushes on it. There's this brush tool. It has a retractable brush, pretty standard. And on top of the robotic vacuum, there's a crevice tool that you can pull out from over there. Plug this right onto the stick vacuum. This is on the lowest setting, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That's the highest. And it goes back down. Extend this just like that to the full-size stick vacuum. Twist it and turn. Twist this way, left or right. Your stick vacuum many times have a very fancy filtration system, but most of the robotic vacuums I've seen does not have such an elaborate filtration system. Let me show you the 5 stages of filtration. The air would go in through here. The first stage spins the heavier particles around the perimeter over here as it sucks air in the middle. So when the canister is on, you can see the dust spinning around inside. The second stage would be this mesh over here, so really big particles won't get into the suction. Twist it open, take it out, and on this end we can pull this off. There are 5 inlet ports, and this is considered another filtration system. Depending on how they face these nozzles in here, it's gonna try to spin the air this way so that it's gonna go downwards. The 4th stage is this little foam piece. The 5th stage is this filter here. And after this 5th stage, you probably won't get much else coming out of here. But internally, there's yet another mesh before it goes to the motor. I spent my own money. I bought this iRobot S9 Plus and also this Dyson V13 Detect. All of this costs a lot of money. This is over $1,000 when I bought it. This is over like $500 or so. Just the eufy system itself is less than the cost of this handheld over here. There is a motor here, a motor here. There is a very simplistic filtration system, but a much more fancier one in the Dyson. There is a battery here and also a battery in the Dyson. So you have a lot of redundancy here, which you are paying double for. With the eufy, you have everything that is used twice right here. When you put it into the robotic vacuum, it self-empties into the dust bag. With this Dyson, I actually never want to empty it in the house because once you push this thing, all this fine particles come out. So I would actually have to go outside and dump it outside instead. The size of these robotic vacuums are the same. You have the stick vac part, the brush attachment, but essentially with this setup, this entire thing is extra. The eufy E20 is much more comparable in size to the Dyson V8. I know they have higher versions out there, and they just generally get bigger and bigger the higher the number that you get. This one's around 2.8 pounds. This Dyson V8 is 3.6 pounds. So around 1 pound less than this one, so it's a little bit easier to handle. When you take the robot away, you'll notice that the bottom stand is just a piece of sort of thick plastic. When you put it in the corner, it sort of blends in with the floor. It makes your space look a little bit bigger so it's not as cluttered. And by the time you remove the main unit, there's not much else here. It's just the rest of the robotic vacuum. I'll compare the E20 on the highest suction power and also the Dyson V8 on the highest suction power. This will be a bunch of long hairs on carpeted floor. Put equal amounts on both sides, and also have some shorter strands here, and I'll put it right after that. it kind of looks like a beard on the floor. I would not recommend to have this much hair. It will scare the guests away. I'm gonna do it very quickly first and then slower after. It pulled a little bit of hair from this side in there. There's a little bit left here. Let's vacuum that. I think it didn't go over it. Now with the Dyson V8, after going over it directly, it missed a few. So let's go a little bit slower. I'd say this is very similar in performance. If in your house you only want vacuuming capabilities and no mopping capabilities, maybe you don't have hardwood floors or tile floors or whatnot, then this setup is very price competitive compared to a, let's say, Robo Q series that only does vacuum and there's no handheld. From all the robotic vacuums I've reviewed so far, this is the only one that transforms, that gives you a stick vac, a handheld, and also a robotic vacuum 3-in-1. Now let's test out the vacuum inlet airspeed. I'm gonna put the nozzle right on this device. Lowest setting is 5.8 mile an hour, 6.7, 7.8, and at highest setting is 10.5 mile an hour. When you turn on these vacuums, if it doesn't have a really good filtration system, sometimes I actually sneeze because it kicks up all these fine particles. This is what you have to do when you're emptying a Dyson. You gotta pull this lever here. I don't really wanna do it too fast because there we go. You got all this dust here. I'm already seeing the PM 2.5 increase a little bit to 4. Without vacuum anything, it says it's 3 for PM 2.5. So I'm gonna vacuum up some stuff and it did not increase at all. This entire square, it's all battery. Let me remove the screws and we can check out how big it is inside. The battery is on a connector. You have a lid that's held on by 4 Phillips screws, and you have a pretty hefty battery here at 62.16 watt hours. On a full charge and using the lowest setting, it lasts 37 minutes and 25 seconds. It has a fast charger, so it charges 40% faster than other robotic vacuums. They usually take around 4 hours to fully charge from 0 to 100%. This one only takes about 2 hours from 0 to 90% and about 2.5 hours to 100%. So on a full charge, the robotic vacuum itself can clean up to 1,500 square foot. Here's a robot vacuum in action. Yes, it can pick up all that debris in the center. It has good enough obstacle detection to avoid my shoe. Notice it will vacuum horizontally and vertically in a grid-like pattern. After it's done,
task finished, heading home.
It heads home, empties the dustbin, and redocks itself to charge.
Charging.
Overall, if you don't have any vacuum cleaners at all, and you actually want a robotic vacuum and also a handheld and a stick vac, then this might be a cost-effective solution to have all of them. So I think this setup would work very well for medium-sized home or smaller, like in apartments. If you guys are interested in this eufy 3-in-1 robotic vacuum, check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.